Let's talk about beans. Beans are a legume along with peas and lentils. They are naturally high in fiber, protein, and calcium. A study was done among people who had metabolic syndrome. People with metabolic syndrome have truncal obesity, abnormally high triglycerides or cholesterol, high blood pressure, high blood sugar. Sounds like lots of us. Well, the people in the study were broken into two groups. One group was told to eat 1 cup of beans 5 days a week for the duration of the study. The other group was asked to decrease their caloric intake by 500 calories a day. For some people, that might be 20 to 25% less calories a day. You can imagine how hungry they must have felt. Well, the people eating the beans didn't have to restrict their diet at all, just add to it, eat more. And at the end of the study, those who ate beans had just as effective improvements, and sometimes better than those who had the calorie restriction, in reducing their risk of diabetes by controlling their blood sugar, reducing their blood pressure, and losing weight. So eat more beans. Don't worry about eating less calories. Beans also have this benefit of stabilizing the blood sugar for up to 6 hours afterwards. They call this the second meal effect. So it's helpful to have beans with every meal. For example, I have beans in the morning. I wanted to get my blood sugar under control and reverse my hemoglobin A1C, which I have done successfully. I have about a half a cup of beans every morning with some salsa or some Mrs. Dash to give it some nice flavor. And it might be black beans or pinto beans or garbanzo beans or whatever beans that I prefer to have. And the effect on reducing the blood sugar lasts well into lunch. So have beans with every meal. Now you might be thinking that beans are going to increase your gas. Well, they might for the first few weeks. Beans and increased fiber need to be broken down by your intestinal tract, the bacteria there, and they need that time to adjust. If you haven't been giving them much fiber in the past, you'll be gassy for a few weeks. One thing that'll help is to be sure that the beans are nice and soft, that if you're cooking them yourselves, they are soft and not crunchy. Some people have particular problems with garbanzo beans, chickpeas, or hummus. That in particular might give them an extra amount of gas. You might want to avoid those, at least initially, and only in small quantities. To save money and to be sure that you have healthy beans rather than the canned beans that are high in sodium or other beans that might have other additives, you can prepare your own. My wife will do this usually on a Friday night. She'll have a couple of pots of beans, pintos in one, black beans in the other, or some other type of bean. Soak them overnight, and then Saturday morning you bring them to a boil and then let them simmer until they're soft. Drain them, allow them to cool, and then measure out 2.5 cups per small freezer bag. Seal that up and store them away in your freezer, and we'll have a larger freezer bag that has 4 or 5 of these packs of whatever type of bean they are that's labeled, and our freezer is full of a variety of types of beans. So anytime a recipe calls for a type of bean, you can open up the freezer, pull out a bag, and you have a cup's worth of beans ready to go. Watch the next video below.